Hello, welcome to the Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up for the week ending June 14th, 2024. I'm Neil Bisson, your host, and a retired intelligence officer with the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. I also serve as the Director of Global Intelligence Knowledge Network. In our weekly episodes, we break down the latest headlines offering insights into national security, foreign interference, espionage, and terrorism. Before we jump into today's stories, I wanted to highlight how crucial your support is for us to continue delivering high-quality, insightful content. If you enjoy our podcast, please visit our website at www.globalintelligenceknowledgenetwork.com. There you'll find a treasure trove of information including articles, blogs, my media appearances, and dossiers on various intelligence agencies. We also run a YouTube channel, Inside Intelligence GIKN, where you can explore videos on a range of intelligence topics from cryptocurrency and terrorism to situational awareness, and our multi-part series on killer spies, the dark side of intelligence. Don't forget to subscribe and stay updated. Additionally, I co-host another podcast called Spies Like Us with fellow retired CSIS intelligence professionals Al Dredick and Phil Gursky. We dive into content and current intelligence topics both within Canada and globally. It's a fascinating listen, and I highly recommend you check it out. Make sure you subscribe to Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or simply ask your smart speaker to play it for you. If you enjoy the content, please leave a comment, give us a rating, and share it with others. Your feedback and support are vital in keeping the lights on and the information flowing. You can also support the show by becoming a supporter at buzzsprout.com/233-6717/support. Your contributions are greatly appreciated and help ensure that we can continue bringing you these important insights. All the links to the mentioned platforms and resources are included in text in the podcast. Thank you for your support. Now, let's dive into this week's episode of Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. Today's first story concerns an article from the BBC, Spy Mania: Why is Russia accusing its own physicists of treason? This piece sheds light on a disturbing trend in Russia where scientists, particularly those working on hypersonic technology, are being accused of treason. Let's unpack the details to understand the broader implications of this alarming situation. The article details a series of arrests of Russian physicists, mainly elderly, accused of high treason. These scientists are working on or associated with hypersonic weapons technology, a field where Russia claims to be a global leader. Notably, many of these trials are held behind closed doors, and the specific charges remain vague. From an intelligence perspective, this crackdown can be seen as part of a larger narrative where the Russian government aims to control and protect sensitive technological advancements. However, it also suggests an atmosphere of paranoia and distrust within Russia's own scientific community. The accusations may not be entirely about real espionage, but about creating a narrative of vigilance against external threats. The context here is crucial. Hypersonic weapons are a game changer in modern warfare, capable of evading traditional missile defenses due to their speed and maneuverability. Russia's leadership in this technology is a point of national pride, especially for President Putin. Historically, states with cutting-edge technology often face espionage threats, but this internal crackdown is reminiscent of Cold War-era purges rather than modern espionage countermeasures. Comparatively, during the Cold War, the Soviet Union was known for its severe measures to protect state secrets. Today's Russia seems to be following a similar path, albeit different geopolitical circumstances. The article quotes several experts and insiders. For instance, Yevgeny Smirnov, a lawyer with the human rights organization First Division, highlights that these scientists were primarily engaged in fundamental research rather than direct weapons development. Smirnov suggests that these arrests might be more about internal politics and maintaining an image of besieged fortress rather than general national security concerns. This appears to align with the typical autocratic behavior, where the Russian government uses fear to maintain control. Accusing prominent scientists of treason can serve to suppress dissent and discourage international collaboration, which the FSB might view as a potential security risk. This crackdown on Russian physicists appears to be the complex interplay of protecting sensitive technology and maintaining a tight grip on the narrative of national security. These actions could have a chilling effect on scientific research and international collaboration in Russia, potentially stunting technological advancement in the long run. Looking ahead, we might see an increase in self-censorship among Russian scientists and a further decline in Russian academic contributions to global scientific communities. The ripple effect could strain Russia's relationship with other nations involved in scientific research. In the next story, we explore an article from Global News titled, "So Far, Deflection, No Answers on Political Collusion Allegations, Say Experts." This article delves into the controversy surrounding allegations that federal politicians in Canada are involved in foreign interference schemes. I'll break down the key points and analyze the broader implications of this national security and democratic integrity. The article reports on the recent allegations made by the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, or NCCOP, that some sitting federal politicians are witting participants in foreign interference schemes. However, the committee has not disclosed the names of these individuals, and the Liberal government is facing criticism for not revealing their identities. Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc stated that it would be irresponsible to release the names and emphasized that it is up to the RCMP to investigate. From an intelligence perspective, the situation highlights a significant challenge balancing the need for transparency with the need to protect sensitive intelligence information. Naming the individual without sufficient evidence could lead to wrongful accusations and potentially damaging their career and personal lives. On the other hand, withholding this information could undermine public trust in the government and its ability to protect national security. Historically, allegations of foreign interference in democratic processes are not new. Many countries, including Canada, have experienced attempts by foreign entities to influence political outcomes. The current allegations are particularly concerning because they involve sitting parliamentarians who are supposed to safeguard national interest. The NCCOP report also highlights the difficulty in prosecuting such cases due to a lack of robust legislation to protect classified information in judicial processes. Comparatively, other democracies have faced similar issues. For instance, the United States has implemented measures like the Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA, to address foreign influence. Canada is now considering Bill C-70, which aims to tackle foreign interference and includes provisions for a registry of individuals acting on behalf of foreign governments. The article features insights from several experts. Gary Clement, a former RCMP superintendent, criticizes the government's response as deflection and calls for stronger leadership and legislative measures to address the issue. Thomas Junot, a national security professor at the University of Ottawa, stresses the need for transparency but acknowledges the complexities involved, such as privacy concerns and the risk of damaging reputations without conclusive proof. Clement and Junot's points underscore the delicate balance required in handling such sensitive issues. Transparency is crucial for maintaining public trust, but it must be handled in a way that does not compromise ongoing investigations or the rights of the individuals involved. Strengthening national security legislation like Bill C-70, could provide a more structured approach to dealing with foreign interference. The allegations of political collusion with foreign states poses a serious challenge for Canada's national security framework. The government's current approach has been criticized for lacking transparency, but there are valid concerns about the potential consequences of naming individuals without solid evidence. Moving forward, passing robust legislation like Bill C-70 will help address these issues by providing clearer guidelines and tools for dealing with foreign interference. In the coming weeks, it will be important to monitor how the government and the RCMP handle these allegations and whether new legislative measures will be implemented to better protect Canada's democratic processes. The next article continues our dive into the aftermath of Canada's new awakening to foreign interference, but from a different perspective and institution. All this from an article in Global News titled, "Foreign Influence Registry Could Have Chilling Effect," universities warn. This article highlights concerns raised by Canada's leading research universities, the U15, regarding a proposed foreign influence transparency registry. They warn that it could have an unintended chilling effect on international partnerships, potentially causing Canada to miss out on cutting-edge opportunities. The proposed Foreign Influence Transparency Registry is a centerpiece of legislation aimed at combating foreign interference. The legislation would introduce new criminal provisions against deceptive or surreptitious acts, allowing for the sharing of sensitive information with businesses and others beyond the government, and establish a Foreign Influence Transparency Registry. The registry would require certain individuals to register their activities with the federal government to help guard against foreign interference. Failing to register could result in financial penalties or even criminal sanctions. The U15 and other universities expressed concern about the registry's reporting requirements, claiming it's nearly impossible for large, research-intensive institutions to track individual research collaborations and report them within 14 days. They argue that this could harm international research partnerships and infringe on academic freedom. From an intelligence perspective, the significance of this legislation cannot be overstated. Academic institutions, especially those that focus on cutting-edge technology and research, have been and will continue to be targets of hostile foreign states and non-state actors. To understand the broader implications, let's provide some context. The idea of a foreign influence registry is not new. Countries like Australia and the United Kingdom have implemented similar measures. However, Canada's approach is notably country agnostic, meaning it does not significantly target any known adversaries like China. This has raised concerns among some experts about its effectiveness. Comparing this to the UK's two-tier system, where the Secretary of State has the power to require registration of activities for specified countries, this suggests that a more targeted approach might be beneficial. This system allows for more precise restrictions on entities from adversarial states while protecting academic freedom and international cooperation. The article includes insights from various experts. For instance, Wesley Work, a senior fellow at the Centre for International Governance and Innovation, supports a more targeted approach like the UK's. Similarly, Benjamin Fung, professor and Canadian research chair at McGill University, advocates for a two-tier model to impose more accurate restrictions. Universities and other academic institutions are businesses like any other business. They run on profit versus loss. This has not been more evident than in recent years with the explosion of temporary student visas. Foreign students are charged anywhere from 3 to 5 times the amount of tuition of that of a Canadian student. The claims by the U15 that foreign agent registry could have a chilling effect on international partnerships is nothing more than a veiled attempt to continue to keep profits at an all-time high in these institutions and dissuade the government from identifying individuals who are likely collaborating on research who could pose a threat to Canada's national security. Foreign state actors, particularly those from adversarial nations, are increasingly employing sophisticated methods to advance their political goals and manipulate political and electoral systems. This registry aims to bring transparency to such activities and curb foreign influence. As a retired intelligence officer, it's clear to me that the U15 concerns about the chilling effect are in part a smokescreen to prevent potential fallout from identifying foreign agents within Canadian academic institutions. The registry's primary goal is to safeguard national security by ensuring transparency and accountability. To summarize, the proposed Foreign Influence Transparency Registry aims to protect Canada from foreign interference but faces significant pushback from academic institutions concerned about its impact on international research partnerships. Balancing academic freedom and national security is a complex issue, but it's critical to ensure that foreign agents do not manipulate our political electoral systems or have access to cutting-edge research. In our next story, we'll be discussing a crucial article from the Times of India titled, "Canada's Intelligence Chief Made Unannounced Visits to India Twice This Year." This article highlights the unannounced visits made by CSIS Director David Vigneault to India earlier this year to discuss the case surrounding the killing of Khalistan separatist advocate Hardeep Singh Nijjar. According to the article, Director Vigneault made 2 secretive trips to India in February and March to brief Indian officials on Ottawa's investigation into the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. These visits occurred amidst strained relations between Canada and India following Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's allegations last year of potential involvement of Indian agents in Nijjar's assassination. Vigneault's visits were timed just before the arrest of the 3 Indian nationals in Canada in connection with Nijjar's murder. A 4th Indian national was subsequently arrested. Nijjar, declared a terrorist by India, was killed outside a Gurdwara in British Columbia in June of last year, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, is currently investigating the case. From an intelligence perspective, these visits underscore the gravity and sensitivity of the situation. Unannounced diplomatic and intelligence exchanges like these are crucial in high-stakes international incidents, particularly those involving allegations of state-sponsored activities. To provide some context, the relationship between Canada and India has been tense, especially following Trudeau's public accusations against India regarding Nijjar's murder. India has consistently dismissed the claims as absurd and has expressed frustration over Canada's perceived leniency towards pro-Khalistani elements operating on Canadian soil. The intelligence collaboration between Canada and India is a matter that highlights the complexities of international diplomacy and national security. While Canada aims to ensure truth and accountability, India has raised concerns about the safety of its diplomats in Canada due to threats by pro-Khalistani groups. Comparing this event to similar incidents, it's evident that international investigations involving accusations of state-sponsored killings requires careful handling to avoid exasperating diplomatic tensions. The need for transparency and cooperation is paramount, yet it must be balanced with protection of Canada's national interest and the safety of Canada's citizens. In this article, a Government of Canada official confirmed Vigneault's visits but did not comment on the specifics of the meeting. The official emphasized Canada's commitment to provide all available information to India regarding the Niger case. This sentiment has been echoed by Prime Minister Trudeau and Canada's Minister for Public Safety, highlighting the country's focus on truth and accountability. From my professional perspective, these undisclosed meetings likely involve sharing sensitive information and disclosing the implications of the ongoing investigation. The secrecy surrounding these visits underscores the delicate nature of the information exchange and the potential repercussions on the bilateral relations. David Vigneault's unannounced visits to India to discuss the Niger case illustrate the intricate balance between national security, international diplomacy, and the pursuit of justice. The Canadian intelligence community cannot simply turn its back on the Indian government, as established relationships with the intelligence community of India have been ongoing and are relied upon by both countries to investigate national security issues that affect Canada and India. As the situation continues to unfold, the implications for Canada-India relations and the broader geopolitical landscape will be significant. Looking ahead, it will be essential to monitor the progress of the RCMP's investigation and any further developments in the diplomatic exchanges between Canada and India. Our next story deals with a critical news article from Global News titled "No List of MPs in Report That Warned of Collusion by Parliamentarians, May." In this article, Green Party leader Elizabeth May discusses her review of a top-secret parliamentary report on foreign interference, stating that there is no list of MPs who have been disloyal to Canada. The article highlights Elizabeth May's relief after reading the unredacted version of the National Security Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, or NSICOP, report. The report contains allegations that some parliamentarians are wittingly or semi-wittingly cooperating or collaborating with foreign governments. The redacted version, released last Monday, did not name any parliamentarians, which has led to mounting pressure on the government to disclose their identities. May assures that she has no worries about anyone in the House of Commons. However, she does point out that a former MP allegedly shared privileged information with a foreign operative, which she believes warrants investigation and prosecution. From an intelligence perspective, the significance of such allegations cannot be understated. Foreign interference poses a serious threat to national security, undermining the integrity of our democratic institutions and processes. Identifying and addressing these threats is crucial to maintaining public trust and safeguarding our political system. For some context, intelligence reports like the NCCOP report are complex documents that require expert interpretation. They offer a snapshot of information, often needing further validation and corroboration in ensuring accuracy and reliability. Elizabeth May's comments, while intended to reassure, oversimplify the depth and gravity of the intelligence contained within the report. This situation is reminiscent of other cases where foreign interference has been suspected or confirmed in political systems around the world. The importance of transparency and rigorous investigation in such matters cannot be overemphasized. May's relief appears premature, considering the nuanced nature of the intelligence. The article quotes her stating that she cannot reveal which foreign government or former MP was allegedly working for, citing national security concerns. This secrecy, while necessary, also raises questions about the extent of the threat and the measures being taken to counter it. From my personal experience, interpreting intelligence reports is a delicate task and requires thorough analysis and a cautious approach. The broader implications for national security are significant, and any potential threats must be addressed with the utmost seriousness. In summary, Elizabeth May's comments on the NCCOP report provide only a partial picture of the situation. Her reassurance is an effort to provide Canadians some comfort. However, it's crucial to remember that intelligence reports are intricate and demand expert scrutiny. The call for further transparency and investigation remain vital to ensure our national security is not compromised. The next story deals with a compelling and concerning development from Yemen. As reported by Reuters in the article, Yemen Houthis say they have arrested American-Israeli spy cell. In this report, the Iran-backed Houthi group in Yemen claims to have detained a spy cell allegedly composed of former U.S. embassy staff and operatives working for American and Israeli intelligence. Let's delve into the details and unpack the implications of these arrests. The Houthis announced that they have arrested what they describe as an American-Israeli spy cell. This cell is said to include former staff members of the U.S. Embassy in Yemen and individuals allegedly involved in espionage and sabotage activities over several decades. According to Abdel Hakim El-Kwaiwani, the Houthis' intelligence chief, these individuals exploited their positions to carry out their mission even after the U.S. Embassy suspended operations in Sahand in 2014. The incident follows the recent detention of approximately a dozen UN personnel by the Houthis, highlighting the escalating tension in the region. The Houthis have also detained employees of the US-funded National Democratic Institute and a local human rights group. These arrests have been framed as part of a broader pattern of alleged sabotage and espionage activities under the cover of international and UN organizations. From an intelligence perspective, the arrest of such individuals, if substantiated, represents a significant breach. Espionage activities, especially those involving former embassy staff, can compromise national security, disrupt diplomatic relations, and escalate regional tensions. For context, the Houthis have been aligned with Iran and have been involved in prolonged conflict with a Saudi-led coalition supported by the United States. The strategic importance of Yemen, particularly its location in the Red Sea, makes it a hotbed of geopolitical maneuvers and intelligence operations. This event can be compared to historical instances where embassy personnel or international staff are accused of espionage, reflecting a perpetual tug-of-war in the intelligence community. It's a stark reminder of the delicate balance between diplomatic missions and intelligence-gathering efforts. The article notes the Israeli officials and the UN have not commented on the allegations, while the U.S. State Department has yet to respond. UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric mentioned efforts to secure the release of detained UN staff, emphasizing the complexities involved in the situation. Based on my experience, these kinds of accusations need to be viewed critically. Allegations of espionage can be politically motivated, serving as leverage in broader geopolitical conflicts. The purported videos of confessions posted by Houthi Al-Masira TV add another layer of complexity, as the authenticity and context of these confessions are difficult to verify independently. In summary, the arrest of an alleged American-Israeli spy cell by the Houthis marks a significant and troubling development in the already volatile landscape of Yemen. The broader implications of international diplomacy and national security are profound, highlighting the ongoing risks and challenges of intelligence work. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. Before we sign off, I want to remind you of a few ways that you can connect and support our mission. Be sure to visit our website, www.globalintelligenceknowledgenetwork.com. It's filled with valuable resources, including insights, terminology, my media appearances, and dossiers on both domestic and foreign intelligence agencies. You'll also discover a treasure trove of articles and blogs that dive into everything intelligence. Don't miss out on our YouTube channel, Inside Intelligence, GIKN, at Inside Intelligence GIKN. Here, you can watch videos covering a range of topics like cryptocurrency and terrorism, situational awareness, ghouling, and our latest multi-part series, Killer Spies, The Dark Side of Intelligence. There's plenty of great content waiting there for you. I'm also a co-host of another podcast called Spies Like Us, with retired CSIS intelligence professionals Al Tredenick and Phil Gursky. We explore current issues in the intelligence environment, both in Canada and internationally. It's a fascinating listen, and I highly recommend that you listen to it yourself. Make sure to subscribe to the Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or simply ask your smart speaker to play it for you. If you'd enjoyed today's episode, please leave a comment and share your thoughts. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show and help us keep continuing to bring you this type of content, consider becoming a member and a supporter of buzzsprout.com/2336-717/support. Your contributions make a significant difference and help keep the lights on and the information flowing. So until next week, as always, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.